It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
It's showtime! It's showtime! Hey, what's happening, everybody? Yes, it's your man, Geno, the Geno Jones Show. I guess you figured that out, right? You say, yo, G, we can read, dude. Well, maybe not everybody can read. The Geno Jones Show, I come to you live Monday through Friday. I know it's Wednesday, so we got new software, some upgrades, updates here in the studio. I'm excited and happy about that. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for going back and binge watching all my episodes, including my record-breaking, my viral conversation with Barry Hankerson, Aaliyah's uncle and manager, talking about her brand new album, Unstoppable. Go back if you missed it. I don't know how, because it went viral. Seems like everybody's seen it. I'll go back and watch it on my YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like, and share. Subscribe to the Geno Jones channel. Like and share this in every episode, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, that's Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. All right, I got a special guest. I am waiting for him to join me momentarily. For those who saw the my video promo that I put out, you know who my special guest is going to be, an R&B icon and legend. But you know how, technology can do what it's going to do. But let's get into the monologue, ladies and gentlemen. All right, President Biden. President Biden, who gave a wonderful speech yesterday talking about voting rights and what he plans to do, or how important it is for us to protect our voting rights. President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. But President Biden, you are the commander-in-chief. So it's time for you to date somebody else, dude. No, I'm not suggesting that you cheat on the First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, who is a beautiful woman inside and out. I had a chance to meet her. No, I'm not saying go mess around. I ain't saying go hook up with a side piece. No, I'm not suggesting that at all. I mean, it's time for you to date somebody else. Time for you to hook up, holla at, call somebody else politically. Let me give you a quick example. Real quick, I promise, a quick story. Fellas, you can really relate to this, but there's some ladies that can relate to the story. Say you were back in high school or college, and it was just one woman that was she was so fine, and you had to holler at her, you wanted to get with her. Man, you came with your swag, you came with your A+++ game, you had your brand new fresh gear, your fresh smell good, your #1 top of the line cologne, $125, $50, $150 bottle cologne, fresh cut, fresh line, hairline, everything. The conversation, you were on point. And you stepped to her, maybe you saw her in school or at a party or, maybe in the mall. And every time you tried to holler at her, she's like, okay, maybe y'all got a chance to hook up, went out on a couple of dates. Maybe even for a minute or two, y'all kind of hooked up. But then it didn't last long, something happened, and then she didn't call you, and you didn't see her, and then y'all, maybe a year or two later, y'all run into each other again. Maybe you hook up, maybe you don't. But you still trying. You trying. Years later. And then all of a sudden you say, you know what? I'm out. I ain't doing this no more. You fine. You are fine now. Don't get the game twisted, girl. You are fine. But you're not that fine. Because your boy. Come on now. Holla at me. Holla at your man. Okay? I'm the king. Not the king. The king of MCs. Oh, yeah. Look like my mama. Thank God. All right. No shade to my daddy. But I'm glad I look like my mama. I had a handsome day, but that's another conversation. But anyway, the first and the oldest. So you've been hollering at this girl in the whole 9 yards, and you just say, okay, you know what, I'm out. Somebody else over here. Then all of a sudden, You know, that woman that you were trying to get with, that you had a crush on, that you would have dropped everybody, everything, and everybody you were kicking it with to be with her, and you said, okay, I'm out. I found somebody else. Oh, I'm just not that into you. Then all of a sudden, it flips. All of a sudden, she got a crush on you. It's something she saw you somewhere, and it was like a scene out of a movie, and she thinks, oh my God, you the finest dude, and she like all up on you. The PDA, public displays of affection, and she wants to hook up, and she want to spend the weekend, and she want to move in, and she want to get together, and you're like, whoa, we're like, whoa, where did this come from? Don't know. Where did it come from? Don't know what happened. But hey, I'm just not that into you right now. That's actually, well, I'm gonna keep my personal business. Some of us, y'all don't need to know everything. Because it was way, way, way back in the day. Anyway, so I digress. So what does that have to do with President Biden? President Biden, it's time for you to date somebody else, okay? All right? So since Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, they're not into black people or democracy. They're not. They're not into protecting the voting rights of black people. They really don't give a damn about protecting the rights of poor white folks. Joe Manchin in a state that's 93.5% white. One of the poorest states, the bottom 5 poorest states in America. He don't give a damn about them folks. This dude's a multi-millionaire, got a yacht somewhere near D.C. on some river. I think Maserati. That's right. Maserati, that's his nickname. Maserati Mansion. Dude riding around in a Maserati, I ain't mad at you. I'll be riding around in that Ferrari. Back in the day, it had a Testarossa. I don't know if they do the Testarossa. Do they still do the F-12? The one that Jordan had back in the day? Anyway, I digress. All black, triple black. So President Biden, listen, good luck with Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. Stay on it, but I'm just saying, sometimes when somebody else, it's a saying, nobody wants you until somebody wants you. And then once one person wants you, then everybody wants you. So maybe you need to go holler at, Lisa Murkowski, Senator Susan Collins. I was going to say Mitt Romney, but he said some really asshole. He was talking about that Joe Biden was no different than Orange Hitler. I'm like, all right, time out. Mitch, you tripping, dude. I thought it was hope for you. Stay your ass in Utah because you tripping. That hair gel been in your hair a little too long. Something is going on. Or them pants is a little too tight. But you tripping, comparing President Biden to Orange Hitler? Really? That's what we're doing now? So President Biden, my suggestion to you is it is time to date somebody else. Jody Watley, Chicago native, but she ain't claiming Chicago. She was living in LA. She's a global citizen. I love the sister, talented, one of the lead singers of this legendary R&B group called Shalimar. She went solo. And Jody Watley's probably her biggest hit as a solo artist. I'm looking for a new love, baby. A new love, baby. So President Biden, time for you to date somebody else. Time for you to look for a new love, politically speaking, that is. Start loving on Senator Lisa Murkowski. She's up there in Alaska. She look like she ain't getting a whole lot of loving. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. She just don't look like she getting a whole lot of loving up there in Alaska. It's real cold. Start loving on Senator Lisa Murkowski. Start loving on Senator Susan Collins. She up there in Maine. She look like she not getting a whole lot of loving either. Maybe find some, because we letting these Republicans off the hook. We talk about Senator Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema because they are supposed to be Democrats, but obviously that title don't mean a damn thing. It really doesn't. So I say, well, hey, you know what? You tried politically, you've been trying to date Joe Manchin and where you want to go, what you want to do, what you want for your birthday, what you want for Christmas, what you want, whatever he want, he gets it. He calling all the shots. It's never what you want. It's everything that what he wants. And then when you give him everything he wants politically, it ain't good enough. Then he don't want it. Everything he said that he wanted. But then when you give it to him, no, never mind. I can't do this. You know what? There's some people like that you date. Those people, in a lot of cases, are not married or never married because they don't know what they want. And they can never make up their mind. And it's never good enough for them. But they don't know what good enough is for them. But that's a whole different conversation and an entirely different show. So President Biden, my advice to you, I offer this to you. Try dating somebody else politically. Publicly. Invite Lisa Murkowski. I don't know if she's married. Invite her over. Her and whoever, her spouse or whoever she's seeing or not seeing. Have dinner with the family. You, Dr. Biden, her, some of the family. Same for Susan Collins. Invite her over to have dinner with you and Dr. Biden. Dr. Biden is very charming. I met her. Yeah, come on, man. Dude, you've been in the Senate. You was in the Senate for 40 years. You know these folks, right? So, you've hit them with the heavy hand. You've tried to hit them with the hammer. And then at the end of the day, man, you got to do what you got to do. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know. You just need two more people, okay? And then you all can carve out the whole filibuster, this Senate rule that's keeping this country from protecting the rights of black people, the voting rights of black people primarily, and our Afro-Latino and Latino brothers and sisters, and our Native brothers and sisters, people of color, Asian American, the AAIP, Asian American Islander Pacific. That's like the brothers and sisters from the Hawaiian Islands, and our brothers, ancestors from Japan and Korea and China, and all those Thailand, all those, that whole region of Asia, as they call it, Asian American brothers and sisters. So, what happens if you study history, and I talked about this, and I'll make it real short. So there's a plan. This racist, white nationalist global movement, and this fear that white people are going to be extinct, that we're not going to be in power. This is about power, because the numbers, there's been a panic for about 15, 20 years, because roughly in about another 20 years, 15 to 20 years, this country, I'll say sooner, the majority of people in America are going to be non-white. Now, your Ku Klux Klan and all your races and your white militia groups and all your white nationalists, they call it white supremacy. It's nothing supreme about races, and that's all about fear and ignorance and being a coward. But the whole thing about, this is the white nation and it's always been a white nation. No, it has never. Let's just go there. Let's have this conversation. And I'll close on this. We're going to move my guest back tomorrow. So my special guest unless he comes on in the next couple of minutes, my special guest that was going to be my guest today, I'll have him on tomorrow, because apparently on his end, there's probably some technical difficulties because I talked to him about 5 minutes before showtime. Anyway, so let's talk about this whole America is a white Christian nation. First of all, the quote unquote founding fathers wasn't claiming Christianity like that. This whole thing of the separation, their idea that there should be a separation between the church and the state. Go look in any history book and see how much they talked about being a Christian. James Madison, George Washington, they weren't like evangelists. They were talking about democracy. They weren't saying that, no, everybody's got to be a Christian. No, they didn't say that. That's not in the Constitution. Like I said, there's a separation of church and state. And if we want to talk about this country that we're living in now, this land right here, this land is called America, the United States of America. This land where you had Native American, you had the indigenous Native American brothers and sisters for the most part, and you had Mexican brothers and sisters in the regions, that is South Texas, New Mexico. Why do you think New Mexico is called New Mexico? Because there was an old Mexico. Arizona, Southern California, with San Diego. Hell, what's Los Angeles? Really back in the day? Mexicans inhabited all that land. So you had people on this land first. All right, so you can't say it's always been a white nation, and then you took. I was going to say you extracted, but you did extract, and you took by force, or they were taken. You uprooted and kidnapped millions of Africans from West Africa and brought them here to work for free. And there was a time there were more Africans in America than quote unquote white Americans, which really freaked them out too. It's like, oh, we done brought too many damn slaves over here. Hold on. Keep some of them in the Caribbean. Keep some of them in Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. Keep some of them in Cuba and the Bahamas and Trinidad and Tobago and Aruba, and send some of them to Mexico. Yeah, a lot. Did you know there's a lot? As a matter of fact, there's certain areas of Mexico that were virtually all black and consisted of Africans that were brought over to this new land. Yes, the Americas. That's a whole nother show. Not to mention the majority of the Africans who were part of the transatlantic slave trade were sent to Brazil, like 5 million of them. So this country was never a all white nation. Because you listen, you had people of color, Native American, Mexicans that were here. You brought all these Africans from Africa. So it was never an all-white nation to begin with. And now the demographics are flipping. It's going to be a majority non-white. And folks can't stand that. And they basically wanted to, can we take this thing back to 1877, right after the Civil War, for that 12-year period where you had black men and women. Black men were senators in the United States Senate. They were in the United States House of Representatives. They were governors, they were mayors, they were sheriffs, they were state representatives, they were state senators, they were governors of states. And they was like, wait a minute, this dude was my slave? He was my slave and now he is the governor? He was my slave and now he's a senator? Oh, hell no. So, what's his name? I think Rutherford B. Hayes. I'm not a historian, okay? So don't quote me. But I think it was Rutherford B. Hayes that came up with this compromise. Because all these Southern politicians and these Southerners, wealthy white Southern men was like, okay, listen, dude, you got to help us out. Because you're a white man and you look like us. And we've lost all this money. The Civil War is ended. I mean, you destroyed the Confederate Army. I mean, we're ruined and so many of our soldiers are dead. We're broke. We can't make any money because we made money off slaves. This whole slave trade, the slave industry, you ended it. What are we going to do? I can't collect unemployment insurance. You got to help me out. I'm broke. I'm destitute. My wife is going to leave me. What are we going to do? So the compromise. So I believe it was Rutherford B. Hayes. It was whoever the president was at that time, around 1877. Google it. All right, but I'm almost. I think my guess is right anyway. So they asked the president. The president said, "What do you want me to do?" And he said, Can you please take the federal troops out of the South, because the federal troops were sent from Washington D.C. in the South to protect black people when they voted. So once the federal troops were taken out of the South in 1877, that's when the you-know-what hit the fan. Yes, it really hit the fan. You had political assassinations. All of these senators, governors, state representatives, sheriffs, mayors, all of a sudden you had all these political assassinations. And then what happened is all of a sudden they started changing local laws. And then they started changing state laws. And then they started to change the federal laws. And then that's when you got these Jim Crow laws. Wow. Now think about that. That's scary. Because what does that sound like? What's happening now? You've got 19 states that have changed 39 laws to make it not just harder for black people to vote, but for politicians to say, too many of you Negroes voted. You know what? We throwing y'all votes out because y'all voted for the wrong person. You voted for the wrong person, so I'm throwing your votes out. Your votes don't count. It's called voter nullification. They want to nullify your vote. That means they don't want your vote. Your vote don't even count. We don't give a damn how long you stood in the line. You couldn't have water because if they give you some water, the person that gives you water, we don't pass a law, they're going to go to jail. It's illegal for you to be given some water. So, but we don't give a damn how long you stood in line. And we don't care how many of you darkies voted. We're going to just, you know what? Your vote didn't count. Too bad. Don't like it. Ha ha. We changed the law. That's what happened in 1877. That's what's happening right now. President Biden, it's time for you to date somebody else, bro. Yeah, you've been dating Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. Way too long. Jody Watley said, I'm looking for a new love, baby. You need to be looking for a new love, politically speaking. Holler at Senator Lisa Murkowski, Senator Susan Collins. Find somebody else in there. You've been in for 40 years. Somebody that we hadn't thought about. Somebody may owe you a favor. Maybe somebody had a crush on you. Holler at Dr. Biden. Say, yo, listen, Dr. Biden, I love you, but listen, this is the play. She's sweet on me. She's been sweet on me for years. I'm just going to go ahead and wink at it a little bit. Take her to lunch. Come on now. Come on. Game recognized game. I'm going old school South of Chicago. Pimping ain't easy. Do what you got to do to pass the Voting Rights Act. Speaking of time, I'm so happy. It is time for me to bring on my guest. Ladies and gentlemen, he is an R&B legend, former lead singer of the iconic R&B group, speaking of legends, the Bar-Kays. Don't get no funkier than that. Repping Memphis, Tennessee, that's got a hell of a basketball team. My God, they beat my Lakers. Shout out to this young boy, Ja Morant. This young boy is like Derrick Rose 2.0. Woo! And he's repping South Carolina. He's from South Carolina. So South Carolina, we standing up right here. He's got that, but he got that South Side of Chicago game. I know the folks in South Carolina, they got a South Carolina game, but hey, listen. So anyway, repping Memphis, Tennessee, ladies and gentlemen, he just released a brand new single called Just We. And we're going to take a look at the video. I'm so glad that he was able to make it. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. You see my man on camera. I affectionately refer to him as Unc, the one, the only, Larry D. What up?
What's up, nephew? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Happy New Year to you.
Absolutely, and the same to you, my friend.
All right,
I see you got a lot of political jargon going on.
Oh,
boy.
man, I was just feeling time. I knew you were going to join me, so I just got a chance. The monologue wasn't supposed to be that long, but just how God worked that thing out, it just kind of worked it out, man.
Very relevant. Very relevant,
I
very relevant,
appreciate it.
and
I
right on
appreciate it.
point.
So, hey, can you hear me? How's my audio? Can you hear me pretty good?
You're great. You're
Okay,
great.
you a little low on that end. I don't know if it's me.
Let's see, can I fix that?
And I looked on my end. I wanted to make sure that I was good because we need, we want to hear everything you got to say, man. 'Cause
I'm low. I'm low.
yeah.
Let's see. Is this better?
Oh no, the shot is great. It was just the audio.
That's great. Okay, so I think my volume is all the way up.
Okay, all right. So it might be in my earbuds, but we're gonna go ahead and roll with this. So let's first of all, let's talk about your new album. When is it coming out, and what's the name of it? And who you got working with you from a producer standpoint? And we know you got a collaboration or a duet with this very talented young lady. So I'll let you tell that story on.
So the album is entitled "Yours Truly, Larry D." Okay. Um, I've been working with Wiley Morris, who incidentally is one of the producers that does Charlie Wilson. As a matter of fact, he's done Charlie's biggest records. He did one that was on the charts #1 for 16 weeks. Uh, he and I have collaborated on 6 cuts already. I have actually the MD of my band, Manny, Emmanuel Cole, he's co-producing 4 of the tracks with me. I did a little writing on this one, well, maybe more than a little bit of writing on it. Okay. And the single is called Just We, and of course it features a bright, talented young girl from Memphis, Tennessee. Her name is Jessica Ray, who did a great job. She's delightful to work with. She did a great job on the record, did a great job on the video. And I debuted my wife on my video for the first time, and I think you kind of liked it, didn't
I
you?
love it, man. I love it. I absolutely love it, and I love since you're talking about the video, I love
Mhm.
the for me the whole feel because it's a generational feel because you talked about you've got you and your queen that's in there, and you
Yeah,
got Jessica and her dude in the video, and it's
two
just
stories.
beautiful. It's just for me. I mean, one of the messages and the images that I got was it's just this beautiful vibe about black love because society and the media, anything black, man. It's amazing how the world loves everything about us, our culture, our music, our
Sure.
style, our swag. But at the same time, they demonize it. They demonize us as people. They demonize our relationships, and that goes all the way back to slavery. And that's a whole. And I don't need to relitigate that. We all know
Right,
that.
right, right, right.
But the beautiful thing is to see you and your queen, and then to see this young couple. So it's like this generational black love. It's like you and your queen, y'all doing y'all thing, just in y'all vibe. And then
Absolutely, absolutely,
Jessica and her man, they're in their vibe. But it's just you can
absolutely.
just see that
Yeah,
it's like their goal one day, they want to be able to one day have the vibe that you all got,
and be married 51 years.
say that. Say that part right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, sir. It's a very romantic piece. I didn't write that. I fell in love with the lyric when I first heard it. When Wiley brought it up to me, he said, "Oh, you need to do this one." So, we had great success with our first single, which was also produced by Wiley. It's called "I'm Good." We got the top 30 on Billboard, and this is my solo career. So, nephew, it's not like starting all over again because I come from a history being the lead singer of one of the legendary groups, the Barcades. We've had 20 top 10 singles, but also there's a great weight on my shoulders when I come solo, which I've done for the last 2 years. So, it's not like I got to prove myself, but then again, I do. So if I took on that challenge, I'm taking on a new brand, Larry D. I deliberately didn't use Larry Dodson. Everybody knows who Larry Dodson is, but I wanted to rebrand
I
myself.
like that.
And it's taking a minute, but, thanks to kind folks like yourself and radio has embraced me 100%. I'm off to the races on my new single and it's on my own label. The label is owned by my son and I, Larry Jr. And it's a family affair.
So Larry, let me ask you, what was
Yeah.
what was the biggest challenge? Because like you said, you did the whole legendary thing, being the lead singer with the Barcades, and then going out on your own as a solo artist.
Hmm.
What was the biggest challenge? What was the hardest thing about that? What was the easiest thing about it? What do you love about it the most, and what do you miss the most about not being in the group like you were?
Let's start with the latter. I miss the band tremendously, you know. But you know, when you've had records in 5 decades and you've been on stage with these guys, most of them for 47, 48 years, you know, yeah, I look to the left, I look to the right, see even sometimes now looking to wait to see if James is gonna be there. But that was a challenge that I got over. I prepared myself. See, what I did was actually I retired.
Okay.
And
Wow.
fans may not know this, but I not only from the Barcades, I retired, period.
Yeah.
I've been married to a wonderful woman for 51 years, and we just said we was gonna stop. We were gonna both retire. She's in legal, she's in law. And but I did, I just it just wasn't a good look for me. I stayed away for about a year and a half, and I said, you know what, I don't like this. Ain't nothing wrong with me. Let me go make some more music. And you know what? Something else that got to me, all the Funketeers were gone, man. You know, Rick James was
Ooh,
gone, Prince was gone,
say that.
George retired, Boosie was gone, Roger was dead. You know, all
Say
the
that.
guys that do the funky stuff. I said, I can't leave it like this, you know. So I said, let me get back on wax, get back on tape, get back on stage, and finish my mission, because I'm in great health, I'm recording pretty well, so I'm enjoying this, man. I couldn't be happier, Gino. I
So,
just, the hardest thing for me to do probably was select the songs because this is a more romantic side of Larry. I'm the funketeer, the hard guy, the guy who I'm
yeah.
that guy. I call him that guy. Speaking of third person, but in the Barcades, I'm the legendary guy, funk master. He's just
Right.
wild,
The
crazy, crazy,
energy,
crazy
yeah.
energy, energy. But this was a more subtle, subdued, and I long for the chance to be able to let people see that side of me. And so far, so good, man.
But y'all still had, even with the energy, you had like anticipation and
Sure.
attitudes and all that now. Yeah.
Unforgettable dreams.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we made a lot of good slow stuff. But you know what? The record label never wanted us to be known for that. They always want us to be the party band.
Really?
So that's why I'm so glad I've been for the last 20 years. I've been calling my own shots. Been on my own label. This is the second label. We in the first label we started in 2003, James and I, and we put 3 or 4 albums out, and just and JA Right Now Records, which I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't even sign with a major if he gave me Zulu dollars. I wouldn't. I mean, I just love this freedom. I love
I
this
know you
freedom.
do. And, it's
Yeah,
funny.
man.
You talk about this, it just goes to show you how these labels, they just have their own ish and agenda, because I know for a fact, man, when you all perform live, you can't do a live show and not do anticipation. Is definitely one of your biggest. That is, look, y'all done made some between anticipation and attitudes. Man, that is, ooh, y'all done made some babies off them two right there. Or maybe not y'all, but some folks have made some
Well,
babies on
yeah,
that
we were responsible
anticipation.
though.
Yeah, that anticipation is just. I
Oh,
bet. I bet when you are performing, there's no way that you could not have that song anticipation on the set list.
oh no, there's certain songs I just even now, my touring show, um, along with my new music, my show is 85% of all the songs that I did, as Larry Dodson, lead singer of the Bar-Kays. They want nothing more than to hear me do Holy Ghost,
Yeah.
Sex-O-Matic, Hit and
Yeah.
Run, and the names go on and on. But like I said, we've had 20 top 10 records, gold and platinum albums, but 20 top 10 singles. So they want to hear them all,
You,
and I'm delighted to do it for them,
speaking of hearing it, I know you're hearing it. I'm seeing it, especially with a whole Silk Sonic and Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. They're bringing the
Mhm.
fun. As a matter of fact, on this Silk Sonic album, they got Bootsy on this cut.
You know what I found out recently? Boosie named them.
Did
Did you
he?
know that?
I didn't know
He
that.
gave them that name. They
Wow.
are totally influenced by Funketeers and the Funk Masters. he played a big part in the album, and it was so refreshing to see. First of all, that they gave props to the funk master Bootsy Collins, but they totally retro. And I'll leave the door open and even smoking out the window, and two or three other because our Delphonic stylistics
Right.
enchantment. It's all of that wrapped into one. So they're totally doing a really good job. They're smart kids, man,
They
and I
are.
like them.
Well,
And they're having a lot of fun.
I
They're
can't
having a
think
lot
of
of
the
fun.
one. There's the one with Bootsy on it. It's an album cover. A lot of the radio stations are playing it. My radio station is playing it, but the one,
Yeah.
man, Bootsy is on it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So they're very smart, and they giving props to the legends on both sides, the funk side and on the R&B vocal group tip. So kudos,
And that's got to be
kudos.
exciting for you because, like you said, y'all the inventors and the kings of funk. So it's just everything. I learned that from my grandfather.
Yeah,
Fashion, everything in life, music, it goes full cycle. Now it's coming back now. You got a whole generation, kids in their 20s, teenagers, 20s, and early 30s are really getting re-exposed to funk through, groups like Silk Sonic.
absolutely. And I think it was really cool for Bruno to take a back seat, so to speak, to Anderson, in a funny kind of way. That's being smart,
Yeah.
that's really being smart, being wise. Because Bruno was selling zillions of records, he's getting over $1 million a night. He
Yeah.
didn't have to do that,
Sure didn't.
So it's all about being producible. It's all about being smart and understanding you ain't the smartest light bulb in the room all the time.
That's right. That's right. And I think it's great for the culture. And like I said, I mean, it's great. I would love to see them partner up with some of the legendary funk bands like you guys, with George and all of them, and because he got together with Bootsy. I don't know how that collaboration. You said Bootsy gave him that name, but I just love that
Absolutely.
song. So I just think it is a great idea. Now, listen, you and I talked about this off camera. I got to ask
Sure.
you, man, because look, you have been in the game for a minute, and listen to your vocals on this on not just this single, but your first one. But I'm like,
Mhm.
dude, outside of God and good genetics, how is it that, man, your voice sounds as strong now as it did like back in the day? How have you been able to keep your vocals so strong, man?
Well, it's a combination of, and I thank you for the compliment. And I take care of myself, And for those of you out there who have not had a chance to, and have not had the pleasure, get my book. It's called And the Band Plays On. It's a remarkable book. It's a story of my life. I don't bring anybody else's trash in them. It's all about me. It's a backstage pass from the beginning, pre-bar case, to the day I left the band. It's an interesting reading. The reason why I'm reflecting on that because I've been a good boy and I've been a bad boy in my days, but I've taken care of myself. My wife is very, very she's very, very prone to, we've been together 51 years, grew up together. So she helps take care of me and keeps me doing things that I should do and as far as intake and stuff on my body. So that helps, man. I'll be 71 next week.
Wow, dude.
And people came when they listen to the records, they can't believe. They said, "Oh, you sound like you're 25 years
Yeah,
old,
yeah,
man."
yeah.
So, but also we talked about this off stage. I'm producible. I don't go into the studio with these young cats and tell them what to do. They really, really respect me, and they want what I got, but they want it wrapped in another package sometimes.
Hmm.
And I'm obliged to do that. So it takes all of those elements to give what you hear
Right.
and still stay relevant. I'm glad that I haven't worn myself out like I hear a lot of guys who really have. They don't like to do it no more, man. And it doesn't and they can't pull it off on record. They
But
just can't pull it off.
you've got so much to contribute, so much to still give. I think about you. I see Ronald Isley out there doing his thing, and Charlie Wilson still doing his thing. Smokey's voice still sounds great. You
Woo!
you all got so much to contribute, and it's beautiful that these young brothers and sisters they see that, they listen to you all. They're like, wait a minute, and like you said, you can learn from them. These young cats, young producers,
Sure.
they learn from you, and they keep you young, keep you relevant. Because shout out to Ronald Isley, he's had that formula for a while.
Oh my
And Snoop,
God. And
Snoop was
Smokey.
another one.
Oh man. I mean, I told Charlie's a good friend of mine, man. And I told him one of the best records you ever did, Charlie, was the record you did with Smokey. Smokey at 80 years old sounds like he's 30. Remarkable. When I've seen him live, it is amazing. The guy looks great. He sounds just like he did 25, 30 years ago. And that's hard to do.
So,
That's
you dropped
very hard to
something on
do.
us twice. I got to ask you now. Listen, 51 years. You've been married for 51 years.
51
So
wonderful years.
I got it about half of that. I'm at the midway point. And I don't know, you can talk to the mayors. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to make it. Well,
You will.
I'll make it. She may be like, I don't know if I can deal with his ass for another 25 years.
Trust me, you take one day at a time. You learn how to say yes, ma'am. Yeah. You learn how to say yeah a lot. It'll keep you off the couch, keep you in the bedroom. I promise you.
That part, I finally, it took me a minute. I got to confess. I'm a Taurus, so, I can be hard-headed, dude. I'm a May Taurus, so.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, man. It took me a minute. The mayors will probably say, yeah, he is still, his ass ain't, it's still. But
you better learn how to say yes, ma'am more often,
Yeah.
And that doesn't take anything away from it. We're just smart, man, But my housekeeper there, she told me, she said two things. She said, don't worry about being gone so much. It's the hellos and goodbyes that keep your marriage romantic. Just think about it. When you leave, you can't wait to get back. When you get back, it's all those memorable times. And she also told me, she said, never go to bed, man.
Yeah.
Y'all work it out before you go to bed.
I like that.
Because when you go to bed, man, you're gonna wake up, man.
I like that.
Don't take it to bed with you, and you'll have a better time. Trust me.
So the album is called Yours Truly. We got a release
truly,
date.
Larry D.
You got a release date?
I'm sorry.
You got a release date?
Yeah, I'll go on tour starting April 30th. So the album will be out April 15th.
Oh, well, you
know
what?
You got that first.
The good news, I remember seeing on the news, I think they moved the tax deadline. It's not April 15th this year. It's like May, I think it's May 17th. So
absolutely,
yep.
absolutely.
Call your accountant. Don't quote me because I don't want you being late paying your taxes. Well, it's Geno's fault. No, I'm telling you what I heard, but check it out for yourself. But
that's true. They want you to start earlier. You're going to start earlier. The 1099s, I run 2 or 3 businesses, so I have to make sure the 1099s don't come in February anymore. The date is now January the 31st. You have to have them in. So I have to keep up with all those tax dates because I run 2 or 3 businesses.
So Yours Truly, the album, April 15th. You say you start your tour April 30th?
First date, April 30th. And
I was going to say what city?
It starts in, let me check. I just looked at it. Hold up.
That's okay. Hopefully you got Charleston, South Carolina.
Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. Okay, we hopefully promote. Y'all got to bring on down here to Charleston. I know you going to Chicago. Is Chicago and Atlanta by any chance on the tour?
Yep. Let me just tell you some of the cities we're going to: Dallas, Nashville, Chattanooga, Biloxi, Memphis, Florence, Alabama, Orlando, Miami, St. Louis, Chattanooga, Houston. Those are cities that I do know, but it's gonna be more than that.
Okay. Yeah. When you add some more, you come back on and let everybody know. Let everybody know where they can go ahead and download the single, the video. We're gonna show that in just a minute, and it's called Just We. But they can download all your music. Let everybody know.
On Spotify or wherever you download your music, it's on all those platforms. And you can also go to my website www.thelarrydodson.com. Find out my tour schedules, get my book, find out about all the wonderful things I'm doing, and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook on The Real Larry Dodson. And you find out my life is an open book, man. Thanks to my PR people. I can't do nothing. It's all over the world, man.
I love it. And if you said that too fast, just if you're watching it live, when the show's over, just rewind and go back and slow it down, and you can get the reallarrydodson.com. I love it.
Reallarrydodson.com. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and www.thelarrydodson.com. thelarrydodson.com is my website.
And download that music. All right.
Yeah,
Larry
that
D,
music.
Unc, I love you, man. Love and respect. Keep doing your thing. Just when you come to Atlanta, Chicago, Charleston. If you come to Charleston, I'm here. You come to Chicago, I'm gonna have to buy a plane ticket. You go to Atlanta, I'm just gonna jump in the car and drive. But
I'll be in Atlanta. I'm gonna let this cat out the bag. I'll be in Atlanta at in October.
okay,
Yeah, at the there's an amphitheater venue there. We're gonna play.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, I want to see you before that, so we'll figure it out
Oh,
off
of
camera.
course.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
see
gonna
you
see you
live,
before that.
yeah.
Absolutely. Larry D,
Absolutely.
ladies and gentlemen, the album, yours truly, April
Yours
15th.
truly, Larry D. It's a letter to my fans, and it's gonna be a labor of love for me. I'll be finished with it. They busted me out, man. They tell me you're too slow, man. But I'll be finished. I'll be finished, and we can come back and we can talk about it and debut the album on this show. How about that?
Yes, it's done.
Okay.
Love and respect. Thank you.
You
man.
heard him, world. You heard him, world.
Oh
Okay?
yeah, no doubt. Come on, man. Hey man, love
All
and
right.
respect. Thank you, Unc.
My pleasure, nephew.
That's-
Keep doing what you're doing. I love you, man.
Thank you, man. Love you back.
All right. Bye-bye.
Larry D.
It's time for a little comedy.
There we go. I'm back on camera, ladies and gentlemen.
It's time for a little.
All right, you can tell I've been off for a day. My technical director, hitting the wrong buttons. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you. God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. Please subscribe, like, and share this and every episode. Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check him out on Instagram, on IG. Kelby Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP, the official wardrobe consultant for the Geno Jones Show. Alexandria Jones, Bruce Gage. Allie Jones on Instagram, _Lexi, LEXXIE, space Nicole Designs. Nicole, NICOLE. Bruce Gage is Miglio di Mario Uomo. Miglio, I don't know, don't ask me to spell Miglio. Spell like it sounds. Miglio di Mario Uomo on Instagram. His name is Bruce Gage. So just do a Google search of Bruce Gage. How about that? Make it real easy for you. Just do a Google search for Bruce Gage. He's also on Facebook, Bruce Gage. But check out his Instagram page where you'll see his Miglio di Mario Uomo line and his Flyball store. I love each and every one of you. Mother, you know I love you more than life itself. Once again, thank you to Larry D doing his thing. And I'm going to close the show with his brand new single. It's called Je Suis with Jessica Ray doing the collaboration, the little duet. It's a beautiful song, beautiful video. I'll see you. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be on tomorrow, Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Until then, I got one more thing to say. As always, be blessed and enjoy Larry D's Je Suis.
People fall in love every day, thinking they done found that one. But the minute sunshine turns to bad weather, they turn and run. But with you, that'll never be the case. That won't be the story of us. Now everything ain't been all rainbows, but never broke our love. We've come so far from where we used to be. It's no longer just you and me. Now it's just we. Could you ever have dreamed this is where we would be? There's no longer a you and me. Now it's just we.
Been together for so long that we know each other's ups and downs. Finishing each other's sentences before they come out. Look
They never left one another. Through the good, the bad, the happy and the sad. They never left your side, they stayed.
Oh, this one's for the lovers that never left one another. Through the good and the bad and the happy and sad, they never left your side, they stayed.
We've come so far.
We've come so far.
We used to be. Girl, it's no longer just you and me.
Now it's just me.
We never have dreamed this is where we would be. It's no longer just you and me. Now it's just we. We've come so far from where we used to be. It's no longer just you and me. Now it's just we.
Just we.
You and me, girl.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.